A quiet descent awaits, a gentle turning inward towards the fundamental questions of existence. This exploration will follow the path laid out by Lawrence P. Hickok, a thinker who sought to understand the universe through the lens of reason and eternal principles. Hickok believed that the universe operates according to immutable laws, rooted in principles that predate and govern all of nature. He posited that true understanding isn't found in mere observation or logical deduction, but in a direct, rational apprehension of these underlying principles. This apprehension is not a passive process, but an active engagement of the intellect, where the eternal truths reveal themselves with necessary clarity. His work delves into the nature of the absolute creator, exploring the concept of an infinite, unconditioned entity that is the source of all being. He further examines the eternal principles that shape the universe, considering matter as force, the origin of creation, and the determined nature of space and time. The truths Hickok sought are not hidden in the sensory world or the conclusions of logical reasoning, but reside in the clear understanding offered by rational insight. As we begin to consider these foundational ideas, a sense of profound stillness can settle within. This section explores the foundational beliefs of Lawrence P. Hickok, focusing on his understanding of the universe's inherent order and the role of rational principles in comprehending it. Hickok believed the universe operates according to immutable and eternal principles, suggesting that nothing in nature can be truly understood without the application of reason. This principle, he argued, is not merely a human invention but is intrinsic to the very origin and nature of the cosmos. While finite human reason may require the guidance of observed facts to grasp these eternal principles, the underlying truth resides in the absolute reason itself. The facts we perceive often serve as aids in understanding what eternally must have been, guiding our intuitive processes. Hickok considered the entirety of his work as a necessary preparation for the cosmological investigations that follow, offering a guiding path for the reader. He suggests that a clear conception of a creator, distinct from the cosmos itself, is essential before delving into the principles and laws of the universe. This distinction, he posits, is crucial for avoiding both atheism and pantheism. Should a reader find the initial discussions unengaging, they are permitted to skip the introduction and the first chapter and begin with the second, which directly addresses the topic of rational cosmology. This initial exploration of intuitive processes is intended to provide a helpful framework for the more detailed study of the cosmos. At the heart of this exploration lies the understanding that the universe operates according to fundamental, unchanging principles. These principles are not merely discovered, they are the very foundation upon which all of existence is built, existing before and beyond the phenomena we observe. These eternal principles are not arbitrary. They are the necessary laws that govern everything, from the vast distribution of stars to the intricate workings of life itself. The author posits that true understanding requires a grasp of these underlying principles, as they illuminate the inherent reasons for the nature of things. While we can observe facts, the rocks, the celestial bodies, the processes of life, merely knowing the fact does not explain why it is as it is. This necessitates delving into the principles that shaped and continue to govern those facts. Consider the laws governing the distribution of stars, the patterns of the Milky Way, or the very essence of life. These are not random occurrences but rather expressions of these eternal principles. Similarly, the forces of gravity and heat, the fundamental energies that shape our physical world, are themselves manifestations of these unchanging laws. Even the seemingly complex aspects of life, such as the functions of organisms, the patterns of sex and species, and the absence of hybrid propagation, find their explanation within this framework of immutable principles. The author suggests that even the power of omnipotence is bound by these principles, capable of wisdom and righteousness only when guided by them. The reason, with its capacity for insight, can often perceive these underlying principles within the facts of the world, offering glimpses into the eternal order. This is not a matter of mere observation, but of recognizing the inherent necessity and meaning woven into the fabric of reality. This foundational understanding of eternal principles and necessary laws serves as a gentle anchor, a steady point of reference as we continue to explore the nature of the universe and our place within it. As we settle into quiet contemplation, let us consider the subtle interplay of reflections and the spaces they inhabit, a concept explored by Hickok in his pursuit of understanding the universe's fundamental principles. Consider a lake reflecting the heavens, where the image and the space it occupies are intrinsically linked. When the reflection shifts or disappears, so too does the perceived space. Similarly, our experiences of time are not uniform but rather a series of moments perceived within our consciousness, each with its own duration. These moments, though distinct, occur within a continuous flow, much like the spaces around us that accompany reflections. Hickok suggests that we cannot definitively claim that all these individual spaces or times belong to one unified whole, just as we cannot assert that the spaces of different individuals are the same. Each experience, each reflection, creates its own unique context, its own set of conditions. This notion extends to our mental constructs as well. A diagram exists within a space, and when that diagram fades from our awareness, so too does its associated space. These spaces, like the reflections in moments in time, are not fixed but rather dynamic and context-dependent. As we drift further into this reflection, remember that these spaces and times are not absolute but rather relative to our experience and perception, a key element in understanding the nature of reality as Hickok proposes. Allow these thoughts to gently guide you towards a deeper sense of peace and tranquility, knowing that even in the quietest moments, there is a vastness of understanding waiting to be discovered. In this quiet time, we will gently explore the nature of letting go, guided by the thoughtful insights of Lawrence P. Hickok. Consider this a space for stillness, where we can softly contemplate the fundamental principles that shape our experience. Hickok posits that the universe operates according to eternal principles, a foundation of immutable laws. He suggests that understanding these principles is key to comprehending the world around us, a process that requires both the absolute reason and the guidance of observed facts. Just as a reflected image depends on the presence of a mirror, our perception of space and time arises from a certain condition. A mirror reflects an image, and this reflection creates a space where that image is perceived. Without an image, there is no space to contain it. Similarly, our experience of space and time is linked to a process of reflection, a dynamic interplay of presence and absence. Time, like space, is not a singular, unchanging entity. We experience the passage of time through the succession of our thoughts and reflections. Yet these individual moments of consciousness do not necessarily coalesce into a single unified time. Different individuals can have their own distinct experiences of time, unfolding in separate realms of consciousness. The principles governing the formation of worlds also speak to this idea of dynamic change and separation. When a portion of a larger entity detaches, it continues to move according to the forces acting upon it, often following a path determined by its initial momentum and the interplay of gravitational and tangential forces. This outward movement signifies a separation, a divergence from the original form. Consider the construction of a geometric figure, a triangle or a circle. This figure exists within a space, and when the figure fades from our conscious awareness, so too does its space. Each individual's constructions and their associated spaces are distinct and do not necessarily belong to a single shared space. This extends to our inner experiences as well. The spaces within our conscious and unconscious minds are separate and do not necessarily merge into one. Just as a mirror provides a space for a reflected image, our experiences of space and time are shaped by the conditions of our awareness. When these conditions shift, the spaces we perceive also shift. This constant flux and change are inherent aspects of reality, a gentle reminder that all things are in a state of becoming and unbecoming. As we settle into this quiet reflection, may we find a sense of spaciousness within ourselves, a gentle understanding of the ebb and flow of experience. This exploration of letting go through the lens of Hickok's cosmology offers a pathway to a deeper sense of peace and acceptance. As we conclude our exploration of Hickok's ideas, we now turn to the idea of how these eternal principles might guide our experience of sleep. Hickok posits that the universe operates according to immutable and eternal principles, principles that were present at its very origin and continue to shape reality. He suggests that our finite reason, while limited in its comprehension of these eternal principles, can still be guided by them. This guidance comes through the facts that have already been determined by these principles, helping our intuitive processes to align with the underlying order of the cosmos. Consider the steady, rhythmic nature of sleep itself. It is a deeply ordered process, marked by predictable stages and cycles. This predictability, Hickok might argue, is not accidental but reflects the underlying laws of the universe, eternal principles governing the very fabric of existence. The descent into sleep, the gradual slowing of thought and sensation, can be seen as a gentle yielding to a natural order, a return to a state of relative stillness and quietude that mirrors the fundamental harmony of the universe. The fading of consciousness, the loosening of the boundaries between self and surroundings, could be interpreted through Hickok's lens as a temporary suspension of the fragmented experiences of individual time. As conscious awareness diminishes, the individual moment dissolves into a more unified, timeless state, echoing the idea that all moments are interconnected within the eternal now. This descent into a state beyond the limitations of our usual perception might offer a glimpse into the deeper underlying principles that govern our being. The gentle drifting into sleep, then, is not merely a cessation of activity, but a subtle alignment with the universal order, a quiet acceptance of the eternal principles that shape our experience. As you allow yourself to relax and let go, you may find a sense of peace that resonates with this fundamental harmony, a quiet understanding of your place within the vast and orderly universe.